This episode of Inspired Wellness with Jessica is for you if you are struggling to focus, if you are mentally overwhelmed by all the things on your to-do list, which ultimately leaves you doing nothing. I have 3 amazing tips that every entrepreneur needs to know, and we are going to get into that now. This is Inspired Wellness with Jessica, a safe space for women impacted by their emotions to unlock hope and discover ways to elevate emotional wellness holistically for long-term health and well-being. I am your host, Jessica, advanced EFT practitioner, holistic counselor, meditation therapist, and advanced life coach. Join me for real, raw conversations to educate and inspire you to take control of your emotional well-being. I am so grateful you are here with me. Let's dive straight in. Let me start today by stating the obvious. You are doing an amazing job. Now you might think, yeah, that's not obvious, Jess. I actually am losing my mind trying to juggle the kids, trying to juggle the housework, trying to juggle all of the life things, looking after yourself, the self-care, the exercise, and you're running a business. And running a business for many of us entrepreneurs, and I know me definitely, and a lot of the women in my circle, means doing either all of, or although I'm very lucky, I have a beautiful virtual assistant now, but I still need to do most of the work. And in this space, I was thinking about this yesterday as I was looking at a reel, and it was one of those ones where it's the person popping out from all these different angles going, hey, 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 and it was all these different aspects of that person. And I was like, okay, this is like my business. So this morning I was a movie editor. I was in an editing software and I was editing the dodgiest. I was editing, a video, adding speech bubbles and text, and then I was uploading it. So I was that kind of tech person. Then I was creating an offer page. So then I was building website. Then I was setting up checkout links. Then I was doing graphic design. And this is all before like 10 o'clock in the morning, and then I was my office cleaner because I had people coming in here for the Flow Prezzo suit, which I think needs its own podcast episode, by the way. But yeah, so then I was the office cleaner, and then I sat down to my emails. So then I was doing admin. Then I got to work with my clients. So then I was a holistic therapist. And then after that, I was working with somebody on SEO. It's overwhelming. And then I was Instagram too. Then I was the social media manager. It's overwhelming, and it is a lot. And I know from my experience, I might have a very clear to-do list. I might have a very clear outcome that I need to achieve for that day. But when I sit down and then I think, oh, but this, oh, but this, oh, but this, oh, but this, because I am juggling 37 different aspects of my business, it then becomes extremely overwhelming. And I know you can put this into any context, going into a to-do list, in any workplace setting. But let's talk specifically today about that entrepreneurial pain. It's the juggling all the hats. We love what we do. We're so passionate about our business. We're so passionate about creating this freedom-filled life and making an impact. But there's a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot. And so I know I get in a space sometimes, and I would love to hear if this is you as well, where I sit down to do the things. And again, the list is too much. It's overwhelming. And my head checks out, completely checks out. And then I try and focus on one of the things, but I open another tab on my screen, and then I try and do a little bit of that. Then I open another tab, and all of a sudden there is 49 tabs open on my screen. everything is barely half done and my head doesn't know which one to go back to. It gives up. I give up. I give up. And what could have been a really productive day has then turned into something that feels overwhelming, feels hard, has caused me mental overwhelm, and likely has put me into a state of stress. Because remember, we've talked about this so many times in previous episodes, and I talk about this all the time in my Thrive membership. When you are mentally overwhelmed, the mental load, the mental stress puts your body into fight or flight, which causes you physical stress, which of course can have really detrimental impacts on your long-term health. So I want to share with you today 3 things that I have put into place. They are energetic and mindset mental strategies that have made a huge difference for me, and I feel like could really help you if you are somebody who feels like the list is just so overwhelming. And not only that, it's not only the list, but I work from home. So I've got an office, I can close the door. But closing the door, even when the kids are out, even, Amelia's at daycare and Kalia's at school, and I close the door, and in the back of my mind, it's like, oh, but that washing needs to go on. But you just walk past that mess and you didn't pick it up. Oh, one of the girls left their breakfast plates out this morning. It's separating too that life list as well. And I don't know, sometimes I used to find coming out of a traditional workspace where you show up at 8:30 and you leave at 5. Well, you're supposed to leave at 5. Coming from a traditional workplace setting, I found that when I was there, my mind was never really flicking back to home too much. It wasn't like, oh, you didn't do the dishes, you didn't do this, whatever housework or things at home are taking up your mental attention. Those things never bothered me when I was at work because I was stepping into a space. This is why I'm going to give you this very first tip. Now, you're also going to leave with some homework. Now, the very first tip is to create yourself an archetype of who you are when you come into work. You're going to want to write these down, by the way. Pause me, grab a pen, write it down. Who are you when you step into your business? How do you act? How do you feel? How do you dress? How do you carry yourself? What does this person look like, sound like, feel like? Write that down. Get to know the part of you, because there is that part of you. Okay, we all have so many different parts within us, and there is a part of you that is your CEO, that is or if you're in the space, your small business owner. Let's go with CEO. Doesn't that sound so much better? Doesn't that feel so much better? And let's face it, if you are doing the 37 things a day of all the different roles in your business, then you are doing CEO work. You are doing things that the CEO of a company would be looking at and doing, strategically analyzing, making decisions, looking at finances. Oh yeah, I was a bookkeeper the other day too. when I was thinking about this big list, I was also a bookkeeper, which I do for my business and my partner's company. So create your archetype. Create your inner CEO. What does she look like, feel like, smell like, sound like? How does she act? How does she respond? Really detail who she is. And then, you could take it as far as to record this story about who you are as your business owner. And you could listen to it so you can really close your eyes and visualize it. It really depends on if you're a visual person or an audio person, or if you like to read and write. I personally like to listen to things and then I can visualize it. Music makes me very creative. But so yeah, that is one option that you can do. You can absolutely listen then to it, or you can just read it back. And I want you to close your eyes and see this person. Really embody this woman. Take some deep breaths into her and just know that she is inside of you and ready to come out. So what you are then going to do is you are going to stand at the door of wherever your office is, and you are going to imagine with your eyes closed, you take a big deep breath at the doorway. And as you exhale your breath, you take a step into your office and you see yourself stepping into completely embodying that archetype. You leave mum, you leave housewife, you leave cleaner, cook, pet carer. You leave that woman at the door. You step out of her and into your inner CEO. Okay, that is a really big one. The next thing you're going to do is you are going to ground into your space. So grounding into your body, grounding into your space. And this could be simply by sitting down in your chair, closing your eyes, and taking some really deep breaths. Okay, really long exhales with your breaths. And just really feel the support of the chair beneath you. Feel your body as you're breathing. Ground into your body, ground into your space. This is just going to help you to calm your mind and calm your body and help you to get focused. Because when we are in that place of stress, we're walking in with the to-do list as long as our leg and all the thoughts about the things that we haven't done yet and that we still need to do, and it's overwhelming and it feels like you want to cry or scream or maybe do both. You're stressed. You are stressed. And being in this space every day will lead you to burnout. And the thing is, when you are stressed, is your logical mind is not in control. Okay? The logical part of your brain has been hijacked by your amygdala, which is your stress response. And no wonder then you look at that list and you can't make sense of it, or you can't remember things you were supposed to do, or you make mistakes. Okay, so we want to ground into our space with our deep breathing, grounding into our chair, into our office, your feet firmly on the floor, and grounding into your body. And we're going to take that body even further now with my third must do before you get started in the morning to sit down and do, or evening whenever you're working, is a really short, quick round of EFT. And just so you know, I do have guided versions of these sorts of EFTs, as well as ones to calm stress and anxiety and big emotions and lots of emotional support in Thrive, which is my self-care membership. But you could just do something as simple as tapping on the side of your hand, even though I'm really unfocused right now, or even though there's so much going on in my mind, I choose to be grounded and calm. Do it along with me now, tapping on the side of your hand, even though my brain is just everywhere, scattered. I choose to be grounded, calm, and focused, even though my mind is just everywhere. There's so much to do. There's always so much to do. And sometimes that's overwhelming. But I accept that I feel this way. And I choose to ground myself now. And then you can move around your tapping points, starting up at your eyebrow. Grounding myself now. Side of eye, letting go of the busy mind. Under eye, giving myself permission to let it go. Under your nose, really accepting this is where I am. Under mouth, choosing to ground into my body. Collarbone, choosing focus and calm. Underarm, choosing to let go of all the things that have my attention in this moment. Top of head, because I choose calm, grounded, focused. Then take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, shake it off, and then go and enjoy your super productive day. And just as a fourth bonus tip, if you are someone who does like to open 49 tabs all at once, not that that's me, try some focus time. Try opening your clock on your computer. I know for me, having a Microsoft computer, that I can do that, open up my clock, and there is something in there called focused time. And I set how long I want to focus for. So for me, I have actually started, instead of blocking out time periods, like saying, or from 11 till 11:30, I'm going to work on this. What I have been doing when I write my to-do list is saying this should take approximately 20 minutes. So I'm going to give myself just 15 minutes on this task and do more tomorrow, or, whatever, however long it needs, an hour, whatever. And then I set my focus time, and that focus timer goes off at the end of the time that you have set it. And during that time, you just work on that task. And it's so simple, but it is so fantastic. So if you like to do it all like me and you are running yourself into the ground because your mental list is just so overwhelming, your homework, better not forget the homework, your homework is to go and journal out your archetype. Record yourself describing her if you need to, but go and go and journal out your archetype. Journal out who are you when you step into your office, when you step into your business, and not only who you are, but how do you feel? How do you act? Who do you interact with? How do you hold yourself? How do you dress? How do you present yourself? What does your makeup look like? What does your hair look like? Really embody what is your energy like. Embody this woman, get familiar with her, get comfortable with her, because she may be a little out of your comfort zone. And if that's the case, then that is bloody awesome. That is the best kind of inner CEO archetype that you could possibly ask for. So go and get to know her, get comfortable with her. That is your homework. And then when you are stepping into your office, you are literally closing your eyes, visualizing stepping into your archetype. You are then grounding into your space, into your chair, into your floor, into your room. And then you are doing a really short EFT. Even though I'm not focused, I choose to ground and focus now. And if you do those three things, you are going to find yourself having amazing, productive, and stress-less days. You've been listening to Inspired Wellness with Jessica. If you loved what you heard today, make sure you subscribe to this podcast and leave a review. If you know someone who would love to hear all about this topic, make sure you share this episode on your socials and tag me at inspiredlife.byjessicaann. You can get in touch with me through my website, www.inspiredlifecollective.com.au. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.